Hey everybody, and happy Thursday, and welcome to your daily lighting critique. So, we've got some normal cast of characters here on the screen left. We're gonna go through some images here. Actually, but first off, I should mention this too. We have a new lovely animation from the team over at Animation Flow. Sent us a new one that we're prepping up here, so I'll go ahead and show this to you guys. So we're just, like I said, I got the file like 20 minutes ago. We're gonna prep it and I'll share it with you guys. But
What is your favorite song?
Favorite song is I Am Moana.
Oh,
I've been sailing at the edge of the water.
what is your favorite song?
So that's the animation file. So I love shots like this because it's kind of like a blank template of what you could do. Like there's nothing that indicates whether it's daytime or nighttime. There could be a window next to her. There could be all interior lighting. I also love that it's a locked off shot, which means the camera doesn't move at all. So you can just render all of the background stuff as one single frame, and then the character animated as all the frames, and then a shadow pass. That is always very beneficial. And yeah, there's a couple. Let me make sure this is. So in the earlier version that he sent, I wonder if they cleaned this up, but there was a point. Yeah. So one thing I just noticed this. One thing to watch out for is, do you see our feet are penetrating there? This is always a thing that happens. That light. So it's like once you start lighting it, you realize you're like, oh no. So. I think that's okay. I think we might. Sometimes there's ways of cleaning that up, but that is some pretty gnarly penetration. I'm wondering if, yeah, it's like sometimes you can be like, oh, just render, the other, like render this shoe separately from this one, and then put it over to. Actually, you know what? Maybe it's 1 foot over the other one. Maybe I'm reading this wrong. It's just the heel kind of penetrating there. Anyway, that might come up when you start adding shadows and stuff. It might be a little bit of a weirdness thing, but it's a really cute shot. Hopefully we'll get this together for you today and send it over, and then we can start that up there. All right. So first up, we have Tristan, who was kind enough and patient, and we apologize for missing you the other day. So we've got two versions of this. So and it's kind of nice to see this, which is this is his comp ready. So this is out of the render and ready to begin the compositing process. And then we've got the composite on it too. So I love compositing. It's like my favorite thing because it's dialing in the colors, it's dialing in the look, and it's really nice to have this kind of like before and after. So I really love the work that you did on the eyes. I think lifting them to that level is just about right. This is like a pseudo reflection. Almost like an eye ding, because it's really hard to get a ding on an eye like this because it's like really super small, not exactly like the human eye that we normally have. So I think all of that is working really well. I'm just wondering if we can't. And I also like that you kind of goose the colors up a little bit. It feels very John Wick, which is nice. I'm just wondering if we can't get even a little bit more haze back here in the background because you lift it, because you like darken the black point on some of this stuff. It created a darker darks in this background, and I'm wondering if we can't like just reserve those darks for the foreground elements and allow that to go back to being lifted a little bit. And one thing you want to watch out for is just like in this region down here, it starts to get and actually it might even be in the render, but it just starts to get a little bit too dark down there. Like you want to feel a little, like maybe a little bit of like a haze from that blue light just kind of lifting up underneath it. But I think this is looking really close. And then the other thing is to glow up the neon light over here. It's hard to see that over here, to so we don't see the lines of distinction so much between the three elements, between that inner line, the three tubes of it, I guess it would be. But yeah, I think that would be really good. Do you have any questions for us? Because I think it's really, really close.
No, I guess I'm okay.
Okay, good.
I think I'll be fine.
Do you guys see anything else? Is there anything else you want to add to that? Oh, last one. Sorry. This edge of his eye, that was catching my eye earlier. There's like a weird. It's a nice rim, but it's just like a little bit of a tight, like perfect line there. I would just try and soften that a little bit on that side if you can, if possible.
All right. And maybe there's one thing. I have some noise on the cap. the octopus cap. Yeah. So I was wondering if there's any way I could try to soften that in comp. Is there any node I should?
That's. I mean, all you can really do
Because I
is
tried
kind of
to
like you would just like blur it a little bit would be the only kind of way to do it on a still frame like this. You can do it on multiple frames because you can sample around it. You know what I mean? Like you can sample from frames before and after, and then like if there's no noise on the frame before and the frame after, it knows to eliminate it on the frame that it's on. But having a single frame, it's tricky. Usually, what I do is like you can up the samples. Obviously, you can up the resolution, which is a trick that I didn't think about until after I started in the industry. Like lots of times when we're like, oh, this thing is really noisy, increasing the samples increases the render time like 10 times higher than it was before. But if you just double the size of it and then downsize it in the comp, like that could be a good solution too. I other than kind of like hand painting it or blurring it a little bit, there's not. I don't know if there's too much else you can do with it.
All right. I'll do my best.
Yeah.
All right. I'll do my
Vanessa,
best.
Diana, Danny, do you guys have anything? Kat? Oh, good. Thumbs up. All right, deal. All right, so we'll go on to Vanessa. So this one's looking, it's really really beautiful. Like you're starting to get some more, like I like this line down the side. You're getting a nice like warm line on this side, cool line on this side. And I'd have to check your reference again, but you can tell me if I'm wrong. But I feel like this might be a little bit too orangey warm. Like I kind of want it to go a little bit less saturated than that.
Okay.
Yeah, and then in terms of the skin tone, like you're doing a really nice job of really starting to read those freckles a little bit. I would like to see you take another stab at pushing the specularity a little more, and getting some of these cooler tones, like especially across her forehead, like getting some of that like roll off on the specularity going across there would be really nice. And then her garments are like all this stuff is looking really good. The only thing, well, the trim on her was designed to be a little bit like glowy. So, but it looks like you're using it more as like a traditional color on a piece of garment. So it's kind of floating between like being a glowing element and being not. So I would say if you just want it to be like a regular piece of clothing, I would desaturate it a little bit and take down the value a little bit so it doesn't feel, because it feels like it's about to without like, you know, we're not seeing it hit the shoulder or anything like that. But like these little speck hits on the hair, I don't know what those are called, but like the hair clips are really, really cool. And like all this stuff is looking really nice. What do you guys think?
I think you can add a little rim on the screen right ear. A little bit. Yeah. Really gentle one.
Cool one, do you think?
Yeah,
Warm.
definitely.
Yes, I really wanted to, like I said, there was a suggestion to extend the wrap all throughout her outfit as well, to wrap her body, the way Mr. Incredible has it, but I found that a bit challenging because so his outfit is very minimalistic and very graphic. So I am getting that a little bit of the wrap, but it just doesn't show as much.
Like you're getting a wrap, but the thing is that the edge, like the connection point between her arm and the sky, feels. Let's see if I can do it. Sorry, trying to do this with one hand. That's not going to work. Anyway, go zoom back. But basically, there's it's like a 1-to-1 pixel edge here, where it's like her arm and then the sky. If you just added a little bit of an edge blur right along here, to kind of get those colors to fuse together a little bit in the comp, like that would really, because you're seeing it in the light here, right? Like I see light on her arm that's like feeling like it's wrapping around, but this hard edge line between her arm and the background makes it feel much harder. So just like a 3-pixel, 2-pixel blur along that edge will help tie that together and make it feel more like a wrap.
I hadn't noticed that. Maybe that's something I'm introducing actually. in the comp. Let me see.
Because there's it's important to distinguish like the idea of a wrap light and the idea of, or like a kick and the idea of a rim. So a rim is like more of like a almost like an outline that helps define the silhouette of a character, where a wrap is more just like, you know, like what you have in here, that's just getting more shaping in this area.
Yes, I think what Mr. Incredible had. Yes, I think what Mr. Incredible had was more of a rim. What do you think, friends? Yeah. You're right. Yeah, I'm sorry I misused the term. So to get that rim like around her body, that was the issue I was running into. Also, like her position is very different. Like her body is in an angle, and her face, her face, I may be a little bit more like Mr. Incredible's, position-wise, of course. So yes.
Another thing that I see is like on the shoulder, the trim, you can see like a reflection in the bag strap.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, you can see like a little bit of the influence of the like turquoise material on the thing, and I think that would be cool to have some more of that around the neck too. Like nothing too strong, but like a little bit on her skin or like her other pieces of clothes or her hair. I think would be something cool.
Was an opportunity, because we thought it'd be a really cool opportunity to have some like to push in some influence of reflection, like the specularity, and creating more like colorfulness around her face and in her skin. And we just thought the color palette was really nice with her, like having those cool tones with her.
Yes.
Cool.
I'm going to try to push that a little bit more. Thank you, Diane. I'm going to try to push that a little bit more. Thank you, Diane.
Dani's now. So we've got your. Let's see. Do I have? Yeah. Okay. So, did I both of these? Yeah, 2 references loaded. Yes. Okay. Cool. So, you're definitely getting some more ambient light in there. I think that's working out really well. This one feels a little bit more red in the warmth. Actually, you know what? Let me stop talking. Do you have any questions for us or anything you wanted us specifically to look at?
The back wall. The back wall. It was because in the reference, it looks like only the top part of it is being lit, compared to the fireplace itself that is more in shadow. I was wondering what's actually lighting the top. Is it from the candles? Yeah.
I also feel like the fireplace in the reference is like protruded a little bit. The top, there's like a hat. So
It's like what? Say
right
again?
above it.
If we have any better, just say that.
Like the fireplace, I don't know. I think the shape might be a little different, where there's like a little part that's stopping the light from lighting right above it, but then like above that, it gets. I don't know if that's making sense.
I want to eat issue for sure.
Okay.
Here, and then like what's basically happening in the other one is this area is getting dark, and then the candle light is pushing some light up in here a little bit more.
Yeah, because now I just have an area light just doing the entire wall. Because now I just have an area light just doing the entire wall. So.
Yeah. No, and
Good, now it's going to make sense.
Like it might be a little bit smaller because these shadows, like this one's going this way, this one's going this way. It feels a little frontal and a little small. So I think that, yeah, Dana, that's a really good point. So I think the structure should be brighten here. Like it's doing a really nice job of picking up the rims along the edge of this stuff, you know, and then allowing the candle light to kind of fill in the rest. So really this is like the fireplace is about just right in here, getting those rims and then spilling onto the floor a little bit, which you have. This is getting more like reflection specularity in the floor here. So that would be a nice thing to get in there as well. So it's more about like the reflection of the fire in the floor as opposed to just creating illumination as well.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, and then
Cool.
But yeah, I like.
Thank you.
So and then like this rim, like the reflection on the bottle here is really nice But it'd be cool. It'd be cool if that got warmer too to tie in with the fireplace. And I like that you've got this light spilling in the room here. I think that makes a big difference. That's going to help out a lot because it's like creating shaping on here. It kind of expands the space a little bit more. I think that's working well.
The bottle will probably get warmer when I light the candle.
Yeah.
The bottle will probably get warmer when I light the candle.
I think you're close with the fireplace. It's just isolating the light in there, taking down this area light a little bit, and then making the radius bigger.
Yeah.
So, because really with this, we don't want to see any. We don't want to feel the directionality of the shadow at all. It should just be like kind of ambient, like loose light. It's okay if it's soft around there and like it kind of feels like contact, but like you don't want to create like a cast shadow yet. We'll allow the candles and stuff to do that.
Cool.
Sound good?
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Anybody got anything else? And then we'll hop over into cats.
Cool. Thank you.
All right. Oh wait, cat. That's not yours. That's yours. So yes. Okay. Cool. So one thing I about your description that I wanted to ask about. So you were saying that that you were getting a reflection of the light source in the window, right, or in the reflection, and you put a light blocker over to get that out. You can actually turn off the visibility, like you can make it so a light source doesn't physically show up in a scene by going into the light settings and turning down the camera attribute down to 0. The same way that you can control a light's diffuse value or specular value or subsurface scatter value, you can control how much it appears in the scene too, like visually. So you can just turn that down. You don't have to do the light blocker trick.
Okay, yeah, and Blender I think is just on or off for camera visibility, so I can.
Okay, yeah, and Blender
Yeah.
I think is just on or off for camera visibility, so I can mess with that too.
What's the quickest
By the time I figured it out, it was like 11 o'clock at night, so I was
And I
just like,
swear to God,
what's the quickest way? Because it took me a while because I couldn't see it in the viewport.
Sometimes
So
it's so frustrating, but sometimes it's really, really important to your development to struggle with something before finding the solution, because you'll never do it again, right? Like, or you'll know that like that lesson really gets in early on.
Yeah,
go ahead.
I was putting light blockers over the buildings and hiding buildings.
Yeah,
and
I was-
trying
Yeah.
to figure out if the
I was
if
putting
there
light
a
blockers
blocker
over
that
the
was
buildings
causing
and
it,
hiding
so I couldn't
buildings
get everything
and
off
trying to
and on
figure out if there was a light
Yeah, I
blocker
mean,
that was
there's so
causing
many
it. So I
times
was like
that
turning
happens,
everything
right?
off
Like,
and
where
on
you
until I figured it
are
out.
trying to figure out a solution to something, and it turns out you just put a 0 where there should have been a 1. Like it's like it just be a typo. It can be the craziest thing. One of the
Yep.
Yeah, but something like that ability to work through a problem entirely is really important to the development process. So we've got that going. We've got a little bit of rim here. I do like that we're getting some more shaping on this pole. I'm a little concerned about the double shadow here. Like it feels like there's two different light sources casting a shadow. And overall, I think what is going to, if it's not happening yet, what's going to happen soon, which happens to me, which what happens to me on almost every shot I ever light, which is I get into it, I start working through it, I kind of just start adding and adding and adding, and it gets to the point where it's like there might be too much going on, and then I literally just go in, save out a new version of that file, delete all my lights, and kind of start from scratch, because you can it's weird, like the second build through it, you can create a much more efficient, a much more simplified light rig that's actually easier than trying to modify the first one that you created. Because I think that might be causing, like, because this is like the evidence of when that starts to happen, like the double shadow thing. And then it sounds like, so you said you made a little bit of a breakthrough on the specularity on the skin, right?
Yeah, I got that to work. So I mean, you can see that she's got specular on the neck. And
Yeah,
the
I got
Yeah.
that to work. So I mean, you can see that she's got specular on the neck and the arm and all
Very
that.
good.
And then I fixed the eyelashes. Thank you, Shane and Diana, for helping me on that one.
Why it's not.
Yeah, so I got all that kind of tweaked. I still don't know
There's
why
specularity
it's
in
not
there, but I don't know why it's
reflecting
not.
as much on the
Yeah.
bright side.
Yeah, because you can see,
Because
like,
obviously
it
there's
looks so good,
specularity
like,
in there, but I don't
right
know why
here
it's
on,
not
on our upper
doing the
lip
thing.
and our cheek and across here. What's happening here is that the diffuse value is kind of overpowering it, because it's so bright. It's lifting that value, and not, because specularity kind of thrives in the dark values. Like it needs the diffuse to be down a little bit in order to work in there. So I think if you start pulling back on the diffuse brightness of that light or the overall brightness of the light, you're going to start to see the specularity peak in.
So could I maybe just have just one light be diffuse and one light be specular?
So could I maybe just
balance it out?
have just one light be diffuse and one
you could
light be
try it.
specular, and that would kind of maybe balance
Yeah,
it
you
out.
could
So
try
I
it,
have two
but I
lights
think
on her right
overall
now.
it's about taking down the intensity
Just try to
of
pop the
that
eye a
key
bit
light
more.
on her
Huh?
in order to get that specularity to
All
read.
right.
But like
Okay.
the thing that's really working well is your, like, if you take away the key light, I think your overall ambient levels are feeling pretty good. It's just a matter of getting that key light to balance well with that.
Cool.
Yeah. Let's see. I'll open it up. Anybody else? Any suggestions here?
Cool.
I really like the contrast on the face. It's really cool. The eye seems. I really like the contrast on the face. It's really cool. The eye
light,
seems
like,
brighter in the
position-
darker side of the
this
face.
light creeping around
really
right
cool.
here is real. It's really strong. Like, that's a really.
Thank you.
That's a good place to be. And then the other thing, it would be, I mean, as we go forward, we will have to do a pass at the hair, because like we're kind of losing it back over here on this side, and it would be nice if there was some, like, when light hits the hair like this, it kind of starts to rattle around in there, and it starts to feel a little bit. It feels like a little bit like there would be light kind of working its way through here, and kind of like you'd feel it a little bit more, I think. And because I think it's just getting a little bit too rich and too dark in there.
Okay, I think I actually have something blocking out the light on that side because I didn't want it to be as bright. So.
Okay,
Don't
I
worry-
think I
yeah.
actually have
don't worry
something
about it
blocking
for
out
now.
the light on that side.
I was gonna say, yeah,
so I
don't worry
didn't
about
want
solving
to
it
be
for
as
now.
bright,
Let's worry
so
about let's get
I
that key
can-
light looking good on her,
Miss-
and then
Huh?
we can do that in the next iteration.
Yeah.
But-
Okay, cool.
all right, great.
Okay.
All right, so we got Tristan. Is there anybody else
Okay,
that's
cool.
online right now that we missed? Think we got everyone? Because I think we're down to Jeff, and this is supposed to be K, not Cat. Okay. Cloak looking a lot better. I like if the fur feels a little more specular now. I actually think, and let's talk about the character first. How are you guys feeling about the character? Do you think this is looking good? Is there any notes you want to add? Because it feels pretty good to me. Right? Like
I think so. I think so. But I just thought when they brought up the wing, the face got a little, in my opinion,
Yeah, that's fair, and that's one of those, like,
shiny.
if it was me and I was
That's
doing this
just
shot, I would keep the
in
render
my
exactly
opinion,
as it
yeah.
is. But then in the comp, I would isolate the specular pass and just like, and then just like, because it's a still, just roto right around here, and then blur the edge, and then just take it down like 10-20%. But I agree, yeah, maybe a little bit less in here. I'm wondering too. Let's go ahead and try this. I'm wondering too, like, I'm gonna pull back a little bit on the saturation on the red. Let's see. Oh wait, no. Is it you? Okay, sorry. Trying to remember the hotkeys here. So if I just grab like this value, let's see what this value. Grab the reds. If I just pull down the saturation just a little bit, like I'm wondering if they're a little bit too like red, like too saturated. I think this feels a little bit better to me. And then in the same context with the background, we can get into that. So I still feel like this blue might be a little bit too saturated and too bright. Ooh. My daughter fell asleep again today. She did it again. She's just Alright, but like something, I mean, even like kind of down in this region here.
Yeah, like right where that white specular hit on the right wing.
Yeah.
Yeah, like right where that white specular hit on the right wing and the background
right.
meet.
Totally.
Like
Yeah,
if those could
there's a
come
distinct-
together more.
Yeah, that's a
I
great
think.
call. Yeah, because there's like such a distinct difference between those two. Yeah. So I think, yeah, getting
point
those to
in
kind
the
of
middle.
merge together
Oh,
in
yes.
value and color a little
Yeah.
bit would be good. But I think something like this, in terms of the color palette back there, would be nice, because then it kind of creates a little bit more sync overall between, like, you know, taking down the ears just a touch and then bringing that, I think would be really good. This is cool. Like, this is, like, you're making huge strides every day. So, all right. So last up we have Jeff. So very cool reference. We were just talking about the Five Bloods movie. Reference is really good. I like. It's funny because I was just watching this movie, not looking at the lighting, but this is great reference. Like it's this like super subtle specularity in the shadowy darkness is really cool. And then like against the very bright like rim light that's kind of hitting, it's very contrasty, very much like it's either key light or it isn't. Like there's not a lot of roll off there. It's an interesting one. Versus this one, which is almost like the opposite, right? Like we've got the light coming in from behind and really wrapping around here in a nice, soft, slow roll. And then on Rango, this is all about like the key light is almost functioning like a bright white rim, and then all of the actual illumination is all secondary bounce fill light. So the references that you chose are cool, but they're just a little bit different from one another. So I think that we should pick kind of one way to go or the other. And so I'm just asking the question of at this point of which way you want to head with it. Because if we were doing this, I think the biggest thing would be to increase the rim on her and really take down the diffuse value on the areas that aren't getting hit by the key. And then really allow because we're seeing some specularity in the rest of this set, to allow the specularity to really drive that. Look at how dark, but like you can you don't know anything about where this is, but it feels very hot and humid there. Like you can just feel it from their skin tones, and getting that type of thing in there I think would be really powerful. Because looking at her, I think her garments are looking pretty good. Like there's good shaping overall, but like her skin tone feels like it feels like dusty. It feels a little matte. I just think that we can go more contrast with it, more specularity with it. Now, if you wanted to do something like this, again, that's totally doable. It's a matter of glowing up this brightness and allowing that to really kind of overtake her and wrap around on her, like around her edge here. And then pushing some softness. But again, there would still be this is broader specularity in her skin, but it would be more about getting that specularity in there. I'm trying to think what else. But you do like one of the things I really like that you're doing here is like this light's coming in here and hitting here and then bouncing up, and you really get a sense of that bounce light filling her in from underneath, because it would be strong, right? It seems to be like a metallic floor, and then just getting that like underglow up underneath and on the side is really cool. Eyes already look really pretty, but I'll open it up. What do you guys have anything? What do you guys think?
My only question is, you have the screen left sunbeam, and then my only question is, you have the screen left sunbeam, and then all the others are drastically lower on the floor. Should they be higher
totally.
to match?
Yes, they should all feel the same
On the floor.
My brain shut that off. I didn't see that at all. That's a great call.
Me neither.
Yeah.
I didn't even notice.
No, I was like, because I was like the sunbeam, and I was like looking up here. I was like, oh no, they look.
Me neither. I didn't even notice.
Bouncing up, and I say, wait, so what's going on the other side? And then
Yeah.
I saw, wait, there's no.
No, you're totally right. And
I didn't see it until you said it was bouncing off, and then I say, wait, so what's going on the other side? And then I saw, wait, there's no.
Going back into space there. It's really cool. And then eventually too, if we darken the overall diffuse value of her, then we can really start playing with like the glowy elements of her glove and her garments, and the purple from this really starting to play into her skin as well. That'd be really cool. Because right now I think it's because actually I think what's happening is all of those elements are playing in a little bit too strongly, and they're just kind of like canceling each other out a little bit on her skin. But yeah, it's cool. It's a great setup. All right, cool. All right, well that's it for today, guys. as always, I'm here to just put my daughter to sleep with these videos. I swear I timed it up better today. I was like, I'm gonna start feeding her at 12:30. She's gonna do this right before the video starts, and then no, I'll get one of these days. I'll get there. All right, so we'll go call it from here, guys. Like I said, I'm gonna package up that animation this afternoon, and I'll get that posted. But if you all have any questions, let me know, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys have tomorrow. So, all right, happy lighting, everybody.
Yes. Bye, guys.
Bye.